sidewalks are important.
What do you want?
They may not go anywhere, but if we ever do fix them, they're gonna be there to build on. I can't see just letting them deteriorate.
Totally agree.
So, now, there is a sidewalk in front of Wise's house. I've been wondering, I've been told there wasn't one. I stopped there today, there is a sidewalk there.
You talking about right there in his driveway?
Yeah, there's a sidewalk.
But there's not one.
The way,
The problem is there's a sidewalk right in front of his driveway, but there's nothing to the left or the right. There's one to the right that's 5 feet that way.
and what the ordinance I proposed will do is define a sidewalk. A sidewalk doesn't have to be a piece of concrete. A sidewalk can be asphalt, it could be a dirt path, it could be a lane down the edge of the road.
Okay.
You cannot obstruct that,
That's true.
because people should not be forced out into the street.
No, that's true. No, I just.
Well, it will be true when we,
Well, yeah. No, I understand what you're saying.
Or the
The
private
flip
property.
side of that, the flip side of this is what I can see getting into then, is there's a lot of pathways that are not sidewalks that are town right of way. That people park on all the time because they don't have driveways and what have you. So where are they?
no, I'm
gonna
talking
park?
about sidewalks.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we want to take a stab at an ordinance, John?
Well, I just like for some consideration.
Well, I don't mind consideration.
You know, if people can just tear up a sidewalk, I know 2 or 3 places where the landowner just removed it.
Okay, I agree with everything you're saying, but I'll play devil's advocate just a second. Okay? 15, 20 years ago, when the town said we didn't have money to maintain sidewalks, they gave them back to the property owner.
They never gave them back.
They didn't?
Nope.
So the town still owns them?
They just abdicated the responsibility. Never gave them to anyone.
Okay.
Nope.
So the town is still, they're the town's, but they're the property owner's
That
responsibility.
was never repealed in my,
Wasn't?
no.
Okay, I was
The
totally wrong.
property owner is no longer responsible. They
All right.
are responsible, it was never enforced. And that's the way it is. We're okay with that, but that, I still don't think to come on town right away and destroy a piece of infrastructure without approval of the board is wrong.
So what do
Totally
you
agree.
want us, you want an ordinance that just says don't park on them, or
I said it.
do you want?
Check it out.
Okay. Let me tell you what I think.
Now, this comes from other towns, so it's nothing unique at all.
If you're gonna wrestle this bear, let's go with the whole gambit. In other words, we say, we're coming up with a plan to fix the sidewalks, and in doing so, this is the ordinance. And our plan may be over the next 15 years, I don't know. But, you know, coming out with an ordinance that will, to a lot of people, will make no sense, because they'll say, look at that, that's dirt.
But if your tree's ruining that sidewalk, then you're responsible.
Totally agree. And we need to come up with a plan, and we need to spell it out for the town to say, trees ruin the sidewalk, you know, a property owner is responsible to maintain the sidewalk. We're looking at ways to help, we're looking at ways, your suggestion before. Anyway, I'm just saying that included in this, or at the same time that we announce this ordinance, we turn around and say, but we're looking at a plan to improve them long term. That's all I'm saying.
I agree. Defining what is a sidewalk.
You can't,
Well, it is smart.
Very
It's
smart.
very smart.
Very
Well, under OSHA's ADA policy, you gotta give somebody the access to be able to wheelchair themselves down. So you're required to have sidewalks at some point in time.
Yes.
It's a ramp, not just
You
a
know?
sidewalk.
Right.
That's in that thing, that's it.
Yeah, we've got to come up with that.
We have to do a survey, has he done the survey?
I've been waiting on them to come up.
I think we're getting to it, whether we want to or not.
We are,
We
John.
were required to do that.
You know, I always thought that sidewalks belonged to me because they're on my property.
Yes, it is.
And-
It's a nice
but
requirement.
they become an assessed value to my property.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Even though part of the street is mine,
Mm-hmm.
I don't get to keep it.
It's not your street. And
Right, it's an easement, it's an access.
likewise, the sidewalk's not yours.
Right.
to do with what you want. It's a public good.
Right, and I think if there's a piece of concrete there, you shouldn't be allowed to park on it.
To further destroy it.
Well, that's what's gonna
To me,
happen.
that's so elementary, I just can't,
Okay.
I can't understand the
Alright,
reason.
so come up with a draft, Rita.
I think if your trees are destroying the sidewalk too, you should be removing them.
Yep, unfortunately, you gotta look in the mirror on that one.
I think that was the point.
Nah, bend over to mine.
I wish you could just.
No, I just look at mine down the street of how many sidewalks are all bent up that you can't use because of the trees.
Right.
Alright. John?
Yeah, I gave you one, remember?
Yes. That's that agreement. Take a look at that. And
I can email it around too.
that's a draft agreement between us and contact them, see when we want to sign that and what date they're gonna effect it.
We need to get it so that we like it, and then send it to them, and then they're gonna tell us everything they don't like about it. And there are things that I don't necessarily like about it.
Is that the
you-
contract?
Can you get to,
Get that to them, I wouldn't give it to them until I've met with you guys, and you guys say you're happy with it, and I don't think that you will be at this point. There's questions in there that need to be answered, a couple things, and it just,
can we meet this week on that?
yeah, I just need to know when, so I can schedule the time off. I mean, it's easier, it's easier for me, obviously, if it's, I guess, first thing in the morning, or at the end of the day, like at 3 or 4, or at lunch or something. Or, like 12
I just
to
need
2.
48
or-
hours posted.
I just gotta have time to, just gotta request
Alright,
time off.
set it up, Pat.
Now, do you have this?
Just call me tomorrow.
No,
Call me
I don't think
tomorrow.
I do
I'll
either.
be at my desk all day.
okay.
Do I have a copy of this? Would
You
it
do
send-
now, that's yours.
I mean, on email.
Oh, I can email too. if you
No,
want.
I don't need, I didn't mean that, I
No,
wonder if I
can
missed
email.
something, I wanna know.
No, I just gotta,
Okay,
Okay.
cause I wanna go over it.
yeah, you should.
very
That's
carefully.
why I said, and then we need to sit down and take an hour or two and dredge through it and figure out if it covers enough stuff or if there's other
Yeah.
things in there.
Is the E-Verify in there? And then the
It
statement
says they have
about,
to comply with all state, federal, and local regulations regarding employment. And I think I may have even stuck in there E-Verify, but if I didn't, I thought about it. And then I thought, well, no, I think I didn't, because I thought, well, it says all employment things, so.
well, the way I understand it, that has to be in there, and then a sentence stating that, they do not do business with Iran,
With who?
with Iran.
Yeah,
That,
Castro.
yeah. I do know that statement has to be in there, one sentence statement saying they do not do business
Comply
with
with
Iran.
all applicable state, federal, and local employment laws, I'll just say them, because I thought about it, including E-Verify. And then one that says they do not do business, the Republic will not do business
Yeah.
with
Iran. And I even sent you a sample of it.
the Republic of Iran.
What we got said just Iran.
The country of Iran,
So,
yeah.
country of Iran.
Okay.
I don't, regarding those ladies, that housing unit up there, I don't see any reason why they can't, if they've got a small container and it fits in a little place in the garage, I don't know why anybody have a problem with, I asked him that.
No.
And, the other day he was here and they're not holding to,
No,
well,
How many gallons do we want them to give?
we said 96, and that's a big one, but we told them in that. We said 96 because we have to do the maximum requirement.
Right.
Plus, I want the smaller container, and the public will love it.
Well, but I don't know, that last time they were here, they said that they're buying a special truck for these containers to put them on there and to,
Yeah, but they said they'd pick up for
Okay.
anybody, so they're gonna get out of there anyway.
okay,
Right.
well, then that's just not,
you know, if they
everybody
can
else
get,
not using
they can
it.
get 99% that way,
Okay,
uh,
alright.
John,
I think there should be some accommodation.
And
what are
speaking-
you gonna do with the people that don't have garages though? Okay, I mean,
There are some, yeah,
right.
and we can't do anything with it.
I mean, these ladies brought up a valid point, if they didn't have room in their garage, are you gonna treat the people with a garage different than the ones without a garage? I mean,
We're gonna have to take,
you have some in plain sight, I don't wanna hash it out,
yeah,
but,
we're gonna have to
you
take each each task separately, we're gonna have to.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't know.
yeah, I'm trying to come up with some type of
If
agreement.
it gets to an enforcement issue, and, before it ever comes here,
Yeah,
and I think, I don't know how you have a gentleman's agreement with enforcement when you're dealing in hard facts.
Well, one thing that you're gonna have to keep in consideration as far as the containers is the same conversation you were just having a few minutes ago about the sidewalks. You can't impede or block a sidewalk. So those garbage containers are gonna have to either be inside or outside that perimeter and not within the
Right, and there's
perimeter of
actually
the
an
street.
ordinance on blocking the sidewalk now.
One,
There's actually an ordinance in place for blocking the sidewalk.
I didn't think so.
What's that one?
Tom had it on, there's actually an ordinance in place, but doesn't, the definition of the sidewalk like you're talking about, that's what makes your ban. Because there's actually one in place for blocking the sidewalk.
Yeah, and it's usually, it's like on Main Street and stuff.
There is one on it.
Well, I thought so too, but I was told otherwise.
I'm trying to go back to, I think we finished, but maybe, I'm gonna be good for another 2 hours after this.
That's just common sense, you know?
Here. If he's gonna be good for another 2 hours, I'm gonna cut him off now.
There is.
Okay.
Then, copy your own over there so I can make a
Yeah.
copy of this for.
Here, you wanna make a copy of this complaint too?
I'll do anything if I can stand up.
Which one, that one? Right,
The one where I need to respond on Grove.
yeah, that's it. And then there's one with the.
This one?
Right there.
Construction of sidewalks. No preparation to congregate on any of the sidewalks in the town so as to obstruct the free use thereof by pedestrians wishing to use the same.
My point being, most of the work that you were just trying to bring up that needed to be done is already done.
Well, I was told otherwise. That's why I did all that research to find a way to address it, and,
It's already in there.
yeah.
All right.
Okay, Beth, you're gonna have to.
That needs to be revamped. It's just, I mean, that's John's frustration, the same as mine,
Black.
you know. I mean,
I did that.
do we have to read every single one?
Well,
I guess we do.
I know what it is.
whoa,
Well, it's other thing.
maybe we need some, executive session, just to deal with
Don't
something.
tell me about it. I got to get in that
Oh, God.
freestanding line.
Well, I'm not a very nice person
That
around, I
freestanding,
know,
that
but I
freaking
just,
freestanding timer I have for $600 does every one of those things. It will scan, it will take it straight from your printer. And it doesn't do this.
this is the one that's supposed to have handled.
I know that. It didn't go up much. $600, man. Exactly. And the one I have is a nice Kia Ceres. It's a very nice one. I mean, I don't do that much copying to merit it, but I really like it. It's better than
I just
the
want
first one this year.
Yeah.
I just want
First
Ryan,
to.
Kia
what's the difference?
Ceres is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay, I just want to remind you that we met with Republic. Republic wants, all that information sent this week and what's not in the, not to pick up. Then they're gonna start placing the trash bids out next week. And then, with a little door tag.
We gotta get this
So-
signed.
That's it, so, yeah,
Well,
okay,
Make it quick.
okay.
Make a meeting quick.
yeah,
Let's get that signed.
So you want me to tell them to come? Why, I thought they were coming tonight.
we gotta be ready for it.
No, we need a meeting before.
I think we can go through it pretty quick.
Yeah. You
I
schedule.
can do it anytime Thursday. I mean, I
No,
can do it
Thursday's
Thursday.
good. They wanna put out tags, door tags this week.
You can't do it
Next week's when they wanna put they wanna start delivering the totes and the door hangers
All
next
right.
week.
You can't do it
Thursday.
before Thursday. has to
Yeah,
put
that
notice out
sounds-
tomorrow.
I have to do
She
notice.
needs 2 days. That's my,
All right, do it Thursday then.
Thursday?
Tuesday,
Six.
Wednesday, yeah, Thursday at 6,
I've got this woman in Memphis, but I should be back.
okay,
okay, that's the original Beth.
okay.
There's my originals.
Thursday at 6, okay. And then I need to come up with a letter to send to everybody to let them know what's gonna take place.
Yes, you do.
It's on my list.
So, and I've already been telling people, hey, this has to happen, and this has to happen, and then, so,
Yeah.
okay, all right, so I can come up with a letter on Thursday, you can,
Yeah,
okay,
Motion to adjourn.
might get a draft of it and we can,
okay,
if you have to for that.
Cell number, can you give it?
okay.
Gotta get it out of here.
Seconded, John, come on.
Second, hurry up.
I don't think I have it. I think maybe I did.
Second, yeah, just second it.
Adjourn.
Can you tell me who the company is that put that siren system in? She tell me? No. I don't. Do you know?
I don't have to do that information.
I don't know where it's at.
I don't even have
Well,
It was celebrated in December.
they don't have a name. There's no name tag on anything. This is a wailing on it.